君をどこかで。君の名前は。
Bro, this is dead ass the saddest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. Bro, the fuck? What is this? One Piece? When I search on Google, what are the saddest animes ever created, it is criminal that One Piece doesn't show up. Well, Fruits Basket is pretty sad. Damn, so is Promised Neverland. Wow, Made in Abyss? Besides the fucking point, recently I've been reading the manga of One Piece. Trying to catch up to Egghead, just feel me? And after reading Alabasta and Skypiea, I've realized that One Piece has some very, very sad plot lines that could probably rival your favorite sad anime. Now, I'm no expert in the world of depressing anime. I'm a shonen geek. But I think I know something sad when I see it, and the amount of sadness that resides in almost every arc of One Piece is actually depressing. Makes me wonder if this nigga Oda is okay inside. I think that by choosing a few sad plots throughout all 1,000 plus episodes, will help you get a better understanding of what I mean. Okay, this gonna be a little harder than I thought. Up first, the Long Ring Long Land arc, with Foxy and his professional crew of Dairy Back. Alright, I'm done for it. Let's start with the story of a whale and his friends. We first meet Laboon at Reverse Mountain, the first challenge that the Straw Hats are faced with on the Grand Line. It's a mountain on which I'm not the most keen on as geography because One Piece explanations of Red Line, Grand Line, etc. are not my expertise. Basically, the mountain is a one-way path to the Grand Line, and a while ago there was a band of pirates who had befriended a whale during their journeys. Becoming more than friends, they became family. Yet, not wanting to bring harm to the whale, the pirate crew left this whale at Reverse Mountain and tell it that they will be back after traveling the Grand Line. And of course the whale understood what they're saying. I mean, what whale doesn't understand English, man? Come on. But after 50 years of waiting for his crew to come back, they never did. In fact, it was assumed that the crew had abandoned Laboon, but Laboon never believed it. Abandoning the plan to wait for his crewmates, he instead decides to make his way to them by repeatedly smashing his head against the base of Reverse Mountain until he eventually breaks through to the other side. This nigga is willing to tear through a mountain, almost bringing him to the brink of death, just to find his crew, his family again. I mean, there's no way this story can get any more touching. Later on in the story, another character makes his way into the One Piece verse. Brook the Skeleton. Brook has been at sea alone, aimlessly drifting for 50 years. Nothing but loneliness amid that ship. And yet, there was only one thing that drove him to live. And that was the promise that he made to a certain someone, that he would be back for them, no matter what. That someone is Laboon. After 50 years of silence from each other, not even knowing if one or the other are alive, they still believed in the strength of their promise, that one day they would see each other again. If that's not heartwarming, then I don't know what is. Pop, you said it yourself. That's not sad, that's just heartwarming. Okay, fine, nigga, you want sad? I'll show you sad. It all started on an island named Ohara, with a child named Nico Robin. Nico's life as a child was horrible, being abandoned by her parents at a young age in order to pursue their own dreams, which, let me sidetrack for a little bit. Bro, what the fuck is up with this trope? Like, do y'all understand how fucked up it is to know that you have dreams and things that you want to pursue, knowing that you're not ready to have a kid, and then bringing them into the world anyways, just to abandon them in the end? Jean, deadbeat. Nico's mom, deadbeat. Dragon, deadbeat. Nigga, the list can go on. This has to be the worst trope to ever exist in anime. Okay, I might have gotten a little bit off track. But yeah, Nico grew up with no parents and was raised by her aunt, who actually treated her like shit. I remember there was this one scene where the aunt and her family went out for dinner, and Robin was left with basically crumbs of bread for dinner, and proceeded to ask her to do every single chore in the house. Straight dog shit life, but there was one saving grace. The library and the archaeologist who studied there accepted her, which is where she acquired her poneglyph talents. She meets her first ever actual friend, Saul, washed up on the shore of the island, but unfortunately he comes with tragic news that the world government was on their way to the island, and so they came. But so did someone else, Nico Olivia, Robin's mother, the deadbeat. She came to One Island to save everyone, and instead it became the worst situation for Nico Robin specifically. The world government activated a buster call on the island of Ohara, and so the Navy flees. But the Ohara scholars don't, due to the fact that their whole lives' research is what they've done on this island, and they would rather burn alive than abandon what they've done here. So they entrust the continuation of research onto Robin, an insane weight to hand on to just a child. They trust Saul to get her off the island safely, Robin already understanding that they all have already accepted their deaths. And so so unnecessarily. As they try their escape, Robin sees a ship of evacuated civilians from the island explode into a fiery pit. Dog, like, why? Why? She then sees Saul killed in front of her. Killed in quotes because they didn't confirm his death, but I'm gonna just assume that nigga's dead. And Robin escapes, island in flames behind her as the sole survivor of O'Hara. Let's all take a breath real quick and recap what's happened. Nico has one of the worst childhoods in all of One Piece, essentially given the Harry Potter treatment. Nico is finally reunited with her own mother that she has no memories of except for the fact that she left her at a very young age, and instead of it being a heartwarming reunion, it ends up being a depressing goodbye. Nico's entire history, culture, species has been erased all in front of her by the press of a single button at the fragile age of 8 years old. Alright, Pop, I think I get your point. One Piece definitely has some of the saddest backstories in all of anime. What's that? You don't believe her childhood was that bad? No, I never said that. Let's do this one last time. No child has suffered more than the children of the Vinsmoke family, specifically Sanji. Sanji was born into the Vinsmoke family, but with a little twist. Vinsmoke Judge, Sanji's biological father, is one of the best scientists in the world, working with big names like Vegapunk on a scientific team called MADS. He decided that his next project would be the creation of the perfect soldiers, super soldiers. And what better subjects could there be than his own children? Ichiji, Niji, Sanji, and Yanchi. So during their birth, he genetically modified them. But their mother Sora was entirely against the idea and tried her best to prevent the birth of monsters with no feelings. Unfortunately, her effects only showed results in one of her children, Sanji, and it ended with her being bedridden. Essentially, her plan worked, but it only ended up with even more suffering on Sanji's end, because being the only black sheep in a flock of white is bound to get you ostracized at some point. During their rigorous training programs, Sanji obviously fell behind due to his lack of cyborgism. This is what led to the other children bullying Sanji for basically the entirety of his childhood, verbally and physically. Just imagine what 3 emotionless brothers who don't actually recognize you as a brother bullying one person could do. Traumatizing isn't even enough of an adjective to describe it. And yet, among the situation that seemed to have no safe haven in sight, his mom gave him something to feel confident in: his cooking. Well, this utopia didn't last long for Sanji, because his dad viewed his cooking as pointless. Why cook when you could use that time to train and try and catch up to your siblings who are leagues ahead of you? On top of this, Sanji's mother later passes away. The gap between Sanji and his siblings become increasingly distant. And what type of solution does his father think up for this problem? Erase Sanji from existence. No, literally, he decided to hold a fake funeral for the death of Sanji, all the while keep him locked away in a dungeon deep below the Germa castle. What amazing decision making from Vinsmoke Judge. And it gets so much worse though, as if locking him deep down far enough from anybody to locate him, just on the slim possibility that someone does find their way down there, he hides Sanji's face by putting a metal face clamp on him, just to hide his existence even more. Shit looks like the prisoner's iron mask from Elden Ring. Judge is taking away his entire identity. And at this point, why keep him alive? As if this wasn't enough. Oh God, I don't understand how this keeps getting worse. His brothers continue to come downstairs and beat the life out of him just for existing in a life that he doesn't want to live. And yet somehow Sanji still maintains his dream to become a cook and find the All Blue. The German ship gets into a battle and Sanji is helped to escape by a sympathetic sister. On his path to freedom, he runs into his father. And bro, this is literally the saddest thing I've ever seen in the entertainment industry. Fuck anime, I'm talking about the whole industry. When he runs into his father, he's dead set on leaving, no matter how his father tries to stop him. But his father didn't try to stop him. In fact, his father did the opposite. After all of his attempts to rid the one thing that holds humans back from pure domination, he ends up faltering to it the most: emotion. He can't bring himself to kill his own son, and for that, he despises himself. Sanji is the one black sheep that he can't rid himself of. Every time he looks at him, he's reminded of his failure. So to him, Sanji leaving to never be seen again is the greatest thing that could happen to Judge and the Vinsmoke family. Maybe now he can forget about his one failure in his life, his own son. Well, Sanji also got stranded on a rock at sea and had to starve himself for 85 days straight, but you know, no biggie, man. What more do you want from me? You're right, nigga. God damn, you got it. Whoa. No need to yell, man. You could have just said so. I did! I hope y'all enjoyed this video. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, so make sure to like and subscribe. Drop a comment below, let me know what backstory you think is the saddest in One Piece. With that, peace, y'all.